Welcome back once again, Real People, Real Life, and I would like to introduce you now to Elizabeth Owens. Hi, Elizabeth. Thank you.
Elizabeth.
Hello, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Hi.
And you're with Wichita Works and Utilities, our water department.
Right, Public Works and Utilities.
Right. And this is, what you brought today is a water meter.
This is a water meter.
Okay.
And this device here is the electronic register, the transmitter.
The transmitter.
Right, this is
Okay.
what people are concerned about, I think. But this is a water meter.
Okay. And I do want to say real quick that this is separate from the Westar meter that we were discussing
Absolutely.
earlier.
Mhm.
And again, we did ask somebody from Westar to be here.
We talked to Gina just earlier, end of last week, and she did decline the opportunity.
Okay.
I did look up stuff on Westar's position off the internet. We passed it. It's okay.
Yeah, we can get
Totally
to that if
different.
people
We do
want
thank
to.
the city though for making it
Yes,
possible
this
to
is
do
Definitely
this.
thank you for being here,
wonderful,
for sure.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you to your
Sure. We
management
try to
and the
be
people
transparent.
Thank you. Well, there's that word again. Okay. Tell me more about how many of these have already, for example, how many of these have already been installed in Wichita?
About 90,000.
90,000. So of a population of almost close
500.
to.
We have about 150,000 accounts. Not every person has a meter, but every
Right.
household or building has a meter.
Right. So you've pretty much yours are pretty much out there.
Yeah, about 90,000 out of about 150,000. And we started in the mid-1990s.
I was going to say,
We've
yeah.
been out there for a while.
Right.
Oh, this isn't
this
new.
This one's not new. No. Can you tell me a little bit more, because you did bring some research
on omission.
and again, this is not Westar. This is our water
Right,
meter. Okay, so I want everybody to understand what we're talking
These are
about.
always generally at the street, way back from the house,
Right.
which
Correct.
is different than the other one.
Right.
Correct. I know in my house, for example, this is way out there by the
So
street.
is this just added to an existing meter like at my house, or is this a whole new apparatus?
Well, in the process of putting in ERTs, we're changing any meter that's 10 years or older.
Okay.
So that's part of the reason why some people's bills might be going up, is because the meter slows down after about 15 years. So if they have an older meter and we replace it with a new meter, it could be capturing more of the water flow.
So can I ask you a question? Let's say they come out and they replace this. The old meter was bad. Are you going to get like what some people are seeing with these electric things, like a backdated bill with all the extra usage that you might have been using since now it's working?
Now, this also has a register,
Okay.
which is not affected by that. So we always compare the two, and we
Okay.
always get a reading.
Oh, okay.
There might be a
that's good.
1 month when we have to estimate if the weather's bad and everything's covered with snow.
Right, or ice.
Right, or ice. But otherwise, we always try to compare. If we get an unusually high bill, we'll always go back and check it out.
Oh,
and try
okay.
to figure out why.
Well, that's reasonable.
I do have to admit that has been one thing that I've noticed. If there was, when it came to the Public Works and Utilities, I've not really personally had any problems.
good.
You guys have done a fantastic
Yeah,
job.
I've not noticed
One of the
any.
things that I like about it is reading over, actually watching the video with your boss, is that they'll be able to tell you hour by hour. And so if you do watering at night for your sprinklers and you get a lot more than what you bargained for, that may be an indication of a leak. This will help a consumer do a lot of detective work, or with the water company, if your bill spikes.
And
or
I had that
you-
happen because, actually, it was a toilet that was running constantly, and I would not have,
Right.
hello, it was downstairs. It's not one of those I see very often. So, I was like, whoa, holy moly, and then it was
What,
like,
when you received your bill?
yeah. So then it was like, what's not
now-
working?
A little bit after the fact.
Yeah, I know,
right.
right?
So
But
there is an advantage to these. And these ERTs, of course, have developed over time. So
Right.
the ones we put in the 1990s were called 40 Ws, W for water. This is 100 W. So they're a little bit more up to date. And this will collect information for 40 days and keep it, like hourly consumption for up to 40 days. So it does give you the opportunity to look back and see, well, why was the bill high? Did we have a leak? Is there a constant leak?
Right.
If it's going all the time, and we don't collect that information all the time unless there's an issue, because it takes longer to collect that information, and then you have to have someplace to store it.
I was gonna say, you
and
guys
we just
gotta have
don't
some huge
that much
storage.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So unless there's an issue right now, we don't collect it.
Okay.
But if there is and we catch it in time, we go back and see, and you can see if there's constant,
Right.
if there's a always flow, then you know there's a leak of some sort.
Right.
Or if there's 0, 0, 0, and 1, then it's usually a toilet that's kind of leaking a little
Right.
bit, and then it suddenly fills up.
Or in my case, your husband leaves the sprinkler on and the
Right.
water hose on all night.
Now, there is the potential, and we can't do it now, but in the future, because right now it just talks one way. It's not included
Oh,
in
you
the,
mean
in
maybe
the,
to alert someone in the home that there's a leak or
in
perhaps
the future,
excess
there'll be the
usage.
opportunity to alert people, hey, your meter's going all the time. You might get an email. We're not there yet, but this is some of the
God, I feel like I just
options
woke up
in
in
the
the Jetsons.
technology.
Right.
or if you've left for the winter and gone
Yeah.
south, they can send you an email, hey, you've got something running all the time. We're not there yet. But I don't want to discount this technology
Right.
the way that you're doing, because technology has all sides to it.
Right.
So if we recognize downsides, let's figure out what to do about that.
Fix it, yeah.
Now, what
But
are
not
some of
just
the
throw it out.
downsides that you've identified then?
Well, we have not identified any downsides. As far
See-
as the radio frequency goes, on water,
Right.
this, of course, is out by the street, and it actually faces towards the street.
Correct.
So what's facing towards the street is about 1/10 of what the FCC says is safe. And then behind it, and that's like a foot away, and the farther away you get, the less it is. And towards the back, it's less than that. It's like 1/10 of what goes to the front. It also doesn't emit frequency all the time. It's only when it's pulsing, so it's generally not all the time.
Is that
it's
only when it's
recording it
used-
right
being
here.
used?
It's recording it between here and here, but it's not transmitting it until we drive by and pick it up.
Okay, two questions. Have you had any of these internally combust, like what she was talking about? How they? Okay,
It's a
and
water
you've been
meter,
doing this
so-
since 1990.
Right.
So
Mid-1990s.
we're not really looking at the negative effect of job loss in the meter readers, because obviously we've already experienced it. If it
The nature of the job will change. We won't have people walking routes reading the meters, but we still need to maintain them. We still want to go back once a year, and we want to compare what's here with what we're reading there to make sure it's working. Every once in a while, moles will eat this, or
Right.
there'll be something will go wrong, and we'll want to go back and see why are we not getting a reading, why is it high. So there are still jobs there. It'll just be a different type of job.
Yeah, I don't want to discount anything that has to do with
Well, no,
learning
absolutely.
technology in new ways and sometimes better ways. It's just that sometimes in our hurry, not on this particular situation,
Right.
but sometimes in our hurry to put technology to work, that there might be some downfalls that sometimes we don't find out until later.
Well, have
Yeah.
you
well, that's
had-
how science works.
Yeah, I was going to say. Well,
It is.
that's also called
Right.
being a guinea pig. But anyway, not in this case. Not in your
Right.
case. No,
Now, have
Well,
you
trial
had
and error.
A lot
Yeah,
of
trial and error. Thank you.
a lot of contact from consumers who've been worried about this, and you've had to send out explanations or have stuff posted, or
We
What
have
are their
heard from a couple
concerns?
people. The main thing is the radio frequency. They're
Is
concerned
this
about
really
it.
something that's bothering people?
It is. It is.
I mean, we
It
live
is.
in a world of nothing but radio
Right.
frequency.
Right.
Joe isn't
Well-
here, but I guarantee you one thing he would probably say right now, that's probably what's causing the potholes on Meridian.
well, they do
I
face
did it.
On the
Right.
street
They do
end.
face
I had
out.
to
From
speak
that
for
job.
Joe. He's not here. I had to
Right.
at least get his 2
It's
cents.
causing the
Exactly.
potholes.
It's causing
I
the
can
potholes.
literally
So
see
there
But
are-
I think the cool thing is that you did in the city of Wichita, and your bosses
Allowed
let
you
you
to
come
come.
forward and speak,
Right,
okay?
right,
Because
right.
you have told us, okay, obviously that there are people in the public that do have some concerns, but thank you
sure.
for coming forward and being able to address them and getting back
Yes,
with them
sure.
and addressing them, because sometimes that accountability isn't
Isn't
there.
what we need.
So
Right.
thank you for
Right.
the accountability, I
Right.
really
Yeah.
to say.
We really do feel like we're stewards for our customers, for the citizens of Wichita. We work for the citizens of Wichita, so we want them to feel good about their utility.
Yeah.
We do.
Did you address this? Can you hold that up? Like, that's the different omission.
We'll put that on the screen.
And as people complain on their cell phones to
I don't
you,
have it
they're
right here.
getting omitted so many more,
Which is right by their head.
Well, it is
Right.
their
Things
head.
that are out by the
Well,
street.
It's their head.
Well, this is just such a small, but I'll put this up on TV. But basically, what we were looking at here, now this again goes back to this water meter, on the RF devices that they're talking about right here.
Very low.
In consideration to microwaves and cell phones. Okay, so this is it too. And we'll, of course, get that and be able to
Suddenly
put it
got
up for
bigger.
you a little bit better too.
But
So-
I wonder if people that are concerned with that actually understand, that it's
Right.
that so much less than that cell phone that they
Well,
all.
there is a lot of medical research showing some negative effects. it's up to our viewers really to kind of look over both pro and cons.
Right, true story.
True.
And stuff.
true.
But I will say that this is quite a bit different actually than what's installed on the house.
I would have
Similar
to say it's a lot,
technology,
yeah.
but way different the way that it's applied in terms of
Right.
closest to people.
Right.
Right.
There are some very legitimate.
Absolutely. I mean, I could see where. I mean, obviously, radio frequency affects things. It cooks food.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I could
And
see
there
where
are
there
a
could be
lot
some
of
serious issues.
suspicious fires at the point of contact. So
Right.
it's a different thing. But I'm
This is
really happy that having researched
He's
the
like,
water.
this is the water meter.
Yeah, we keep going water,
This is
water,
not
water.
West Star.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just
Well-
it's in a pit, so there's nothing there to really burn.
Exactly.
Right.
Right. Right.
Except for some
Now,
water.
are we starting to see this having an effect on our water bills? Because this is going to be more efficient, right?
It's not the ERT itself, it's if you have a new meter that's replaced a meter that's 20, 25, 30 years old, because we haven't been as good as we should have been about replacing them. But if you think about it, what we're trying to do is pick up the flow from people who are using it so that everybody using water is paying their fair part.
Right.
So if your bill suddenly goes up because we have a more efficient meter, it means you actually haven't been paying your fair part before.
Right.
So
So
for
from the
all of us,
standpoint
it's
of
'cause
everybody else,
overall, consumers are
right.
going to realize the benefit
Right.
from this.
And there are many conservation benefits for this, and
I'm all for
and
that.
more of this is coming. But if you can see a leak sooner, then you can get that leak stopped. So you're
Right.
not wasting the water. and Maybe you don't
yeah.
get the bill. There's also, and we don't do it yet, but there's the potential to do this, to add another device to it, which can listen toward the street and it can listen to the pipes. And you
I like
don't put
that
it
word.
on every meter. You put it on like every
Don't listen
certain
to me.
distance.
Yeah.
And it can listen, and then if there's a change of the frequency in the pipes delivering the water, then you know there's a leak. Maybe even before it surfaces, you can find out there's a leak.
Now, are these things
And then
hackable?
you can knock on people's door and say, "Excuse me, but we're going to have to turn your water off tomorrow for X number of time because there's a leak." But you can prepare for it.
Right.
Right?
That's
It's not
really good.
suddenly
Can they
you get
just hit
home
a
and
button in
there's
a
no
room
water.
and shut off an entire half of a city?
No, we can't. No.
So that's an
not
impossibility. I know that's
Okay.
a lot of people's concerns
Now,
too.
are
And there
the
may
control.
be the technology in the future, but we cannot do that right now. We have to go and physically turn it off.
Oh my gosh.
Are
I
these
just
things hackable?
Can somebody get my phone number off of that?
No.
No, I mean,
My
they can't go in and look and
address
see
was
how
right in
much
front of my
water you're
house,
using,
so, I mean-
that type of thing.
My name?
I don't think so. But all it would have is water. It wouldn't have any personal information.
Well, I meant in terms of somebody's eyeballing my neighborhood want to do a breaking and entering, that type
Yeah.
of thing.
No.
High-tech criminals.
No,
I don't
no.
live that in a good neighborhood, so
No,
I'm just
no.
wondering if it's
No.
because with the
They would
smart
have
meters.
to have
Yeah.
the right device.
Why am I
though.
thinking about
Okay.
Home Alone? Oh, because he turned the water on every time. That's right. All right.
I mean, our device, like, it has to match up with the ERT number and the meter number
Right.
and the address. They all three have to match up within the system that we collect.
So
the
there are
meters in.
safeguards from
Right.
third parties being illegally
Right.
tapping into it. Okay.
yeah. Yay, that's good. Goes back to that citizen advisory and accountability.
I really appreciate you coming.
Yes, thank you,
Sure.
thank you,
Thanks
thank your
for having me.
bosses.
Information, knowledge is power.
And yes,
Right.
knowledge is power. So educate,
Absolutely.
Knowledge
and
is
we'll be
great.
right back with some more education. Real people, real life.
Real People, Real Life is brought to you by these fine sponsors.
It's a breeze when you know your mover.
And we want to be the mover you know. We are ready to move your home or office and provide you with quality, safe, long and short-term storage services. We move locally, statewide and across the nation. When you know your mover, you can rest assured that your possessions will be cared for and treated with the utmost care. Call us today and schedule a free estimate for your next move at 316-838-6140.
Hammond Liquor, home of the coldest beer in town and the lowest prices store-wide. For all your special events, your friends at Hammond Liquor have what you need, from beer, wines, spirits, champagne, and more. Open till 8 p.m. every Sunday. Hammond Liquor, West Kellogg and Tyler Road. Hammond Liquor, home of the coldest beer in town and lowest prices store-wide, wants to remind you of very important savings days. Wine Day, Tuesdays get 20% off. Beer Day, Wednesdays get 10% off. Microbrews and imports. Open till 8 p.m. every Sunday. Hammond Liquor, West Kellogg and Tyler Road.
At Trailer Town, we're all about selection, service, and safety. Trailer Town Selection, hundreds to choose from, small to large, lightweight aluminum to heavy-duty steel, all types, new and used. Trailer Town Service, the best in the Midwest, from wiring to axle repair. Trailer Town Safety. Yes, we do Department of Transportation inspections. Trailer Town. Trusted, family owned. 301 West 53rd Street North.
Welcome back, real people, real life, and we do get giggles going.
Yeah,
you know, the conversations in between the commercial
The
breaks
bloopers are
Yeah.
ridiculous.
are always interesting. You know,
Always.
it's never a dull moment. But once again, we're delighted. Anytime we have guests that come forward and help educate us on things,
It's
we just
wonderful.
love you. We love you.
Yeah.
So right now we have Travis with LED Source.
That's right.
Travis, tell me, what's up?
Well, I represent a company called LED Source. We are a local company in Wichita, Kansas. I'm the owner, and we're in the LED lighting business. So basically, if you want to save money on your electric bill, I know we were talking about
Yes.
the smart meters earlier and money on your electric bills and that sort of thing. This is one way you can do that. So this is
Okay.
going to improve the efficiency of your home or business. Our big focus is on businesses, but obviously these are beneficial for home use as well. So we're talking about the meters and how fast they spin.
Yeah.
My goal is to make that meter spin slower.
I like you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
too.
So now, go ahead.
What as far as let's take this apart for a little bit. Home use. What are we talking about?
Are those spiral ones?
No. Actually, the spiral ones, I'm going to
They're
say
making me go blind.
are not good. So the spiral ones you're talking about are called compact fluorescents. They're CFLs.
Extremely expensive
corkscrew-
CFLs.
Right. So the big downfall of those is they have mercury inside of them. Right.
Yep.
So
A lot
any,
of mercury.
Any
We just had
fluorescent.
a huge talk about mercury last week.
Any fluorescent tube or CFL that you're talking about, anything that's a fluorescent technology has mercury inside of it, including anything you see up above you or wherever it is. Now, as long as it stays inside that tube,
We're okay.
We're cool.
no big deal. But when it breaks, and obviously, we've all done it. We used to all throw them in the dumpster and smack them and see the big explosion or whatever it is, and that was
Oh,
all
yeah.
great fun until we realized that it has mercury in it.
Right.
So no, these are not those.
Right on.
There's really kind of three different main technologies of lighting. Okay, so the original Edison lamp that we always talk about, that's what Thomas Edison invented, or whoever you want to say invented that technology. Basically, it uses electricity to pass through a wire,
Right.
and it heats it up really, really hot, and we're getting light as a byproduct of the heat. That's why traditional lighting is very, very hot. Obviously, you don't want to touch it and burn your fingers
Exactly.
or whatever. So that's kind of where the world started with lighting. Well, if you don't count candles and
Yeah,
fire and
exactly.
cavemen,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So
Gorgeous.
artificial light. The next iteration is fluorescent, and that basically uses a gas inside of a container, like a tube or a spiral or whatever. Electricity is passed into that gas, and it doesn't ignite it. It's not burning inside of there, but the excitement of the electrons fluoresces and produces light. That's the short version of it. And LED technology actually goes one step further and converts electricity directly into light. So there's less wasted energy in terms of trying to excite a gas or trying to heat up a wire. You don't have that byproduct of heat like you do
Right.
with traditional lighting.
Okay.
So it's more efficient in converting electricity to light directly, but because you also don't have that byproduct of heat, we can actually save some efficiency.
Energy?
We can save some energies there as well. It doesn't heat up a room like if you're talking about an interior space. We can actually
Right.
lower
Climate
the heat.
control.
No,
That's right.
Travis, this is a 730 lumen 13 watt LED.
That's right.
Is that equivalent to a PAR 30 75 watt?
Yeah, that's basically a BR30 replacement. So traditionally you see like your recessed cans, you see that nice BR lamp that's up there, nice smooth look and diffused light. That's what that replaces. So yeah, it's going to replace approximately a 65 watt lamp. That's kind of your most popular.
But it's using 13 watts of energy as opposed to 65.
As opposed to 65.
With basically the same light output.
Right, yes.
You just basically made it possible for me to put 7 of these in my home, or 6, as opposed to that one.
Right. Yeah, it's basically going to use as much power for all 6 of those as you had on one of them before.
Is
That's
it
right.
like these spiral horrible things that they barely
She
have
doesn't
any
like
light?
those.
Like, I'm serious. I have to go ahead and
No,
turn my
no.
flashlight on my phone so I can see, even though
Right.
the lights are all on.
No.
Yes, that is definitely not what you get with LEDs. So LEDs provide instant light the moment you flip the switch. So your fluorescents that you're talking about have a warm-up period. Now we didn't show it on camera because it's going to be a little tough to see it. But yes, I mean if you turn an LED on, you get that full brightness right from the beginning.
Right from the
You don't have to wait, and you don't have to mess up your makeup while you're trying to make sure you can
Okay,
see.
so it's
so.
important.
I know, right?
We want to make sure you nice and bright in there. So
What difference different sizes do you get? I mean, you got 65, you got 100 watt, I mean, equivalent.
Yeah, so the LED industry is really working towards producing all of the common stuff that you see. So I've kind of thrown a few different things on the table that you can look at. Joey, what you've got, okay, so this one right here is a par lamp. So normally you would see this either in a recessed can, like in a downlight.
Okay.
Businesses use this kind of a lamp a lot of times if they're trying to flood product on the wall. You might see track heads or something like that. You'll also see a light similar to this, like on your security lights outside. So if you've got, those motion sensors or something like that, that's going to blast that light out there. So typically pretty bright. I don't remember what this one is exactly. I'd have to look at the numbers to figure it out. But it's an extremely bright. Would replace like a 50 watt halogen or even.
So that's like a spotlight light.
That
looks expensive. Okay. How often do those burn out?
This bulb is, first of all, probably going to come with a 5-year warranty. Now,
5 years?
That's right. Different manufacturers have different warranties, but this bulb is basically going to be guaranteed to not go out for 5 years. Mm-hmm. So you can put this up there and know that it's going to last at least that long. Now, the reality is it's rated for probably 50,000 hours. So let's put this into perspective. Let's say you've got this on a security light at night, right? It only comes on at night. Maybe it comes on every night and it runs all night long. 50,000 hours into 12 hours a night is basically a little over 10 years. So you're going to get probably 10 years of life out of a lamp, something like this.
Just remember to date it when you put it in.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, we obviously in our system we always keep track of when you purchase stuff, and if you ever have in our case, if you ever have a warranty issue with us, you give me a call, I'll get you a new one, and we'll go take this back to the manufacturer and have them
replace it to you. Yeah.
I have a question too. If somebody, if a homeowner or a business said, "Hey, I need your expert advice," do you go out and go through a person's home and by request, obviously, or their business and say, "Here's some recommendations that we suggest, and here's how it can help you. Here's some costs. Here's where it can save." Do you offer that service?
We do. In fact, that's what I would very strongly recommend you do, because honestly, there's a lot of people out there that realize that LEDs can save them money, but they may not know how much. You may even get some expert advice that says, "Hey, you should go use LEDs because you'll save money," but they have no idea how much.
Right.
I can actually come in and take a look at your business or your home and help you understand exactly how much in real dollars. And we're not talking funny math or fuzzy math.
Yeah.
You're billed by the kilowatt hour by Westar or whoever your electric company is, and we can actually determine this is what your original wattage was. Now we're saving you this much wattage.
Really?
If we know how much time it's operating, that's the key factors. You got to know how much time. It's math. I can show you on a fairly simple piece of paper.
Interesting.
See, now I like that.
Yeah,
I really like
Accountability.
this. This is where, that technology, is actually going to help.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I absolutely love that, because a lot of times, like I said, technology can be a lovely thing, and sometimes it can also be.
Well, and I realize
lovely.
it's scary because it is new technology and it's difficult to understand, and frankly, there's a lot of products that first came out that were not good.
Right.
I mean, we've all kind of seen the issue with the compact fluorescents, and when it was brand new, it was like, well, yeah, they don't last as long as they should, and they don't produce the light like they should, and so people are nervous, and frankly, I don't blame them, because we've had a lot of junk come out on the market that we don't understand. I always recommend going with a very quality manufacturer. It's just like anything else, you're going to get what you pay for.
Right.
If you go and find something really cheap, there's a probably good chance it's not going to last as long as it's supposed to, hasn't undergone the testing that it's supposed to by the manufacturers, and that
Kind of like an Opel versus a Corvette.
Absolutely.
Or a Pinto.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah, the Pintos. Remember the Pintos? Yeah, you
Remember
run
the
into a rear end when they blow up.
That's right.
That's
These
not
all
grilling the
go
other
into
day.
existing
Yes.
facilities.
Yeah, the ones that I've thrown on the table use a standard base, so they screw right into a standard socket. There's no.
So you don't have to change any of that out. You just change the bulb,
Just
and
change
that
the
does
bulb.
it. You were kidding me.
No, I wouldn't kid you.
How much is that bad boy?
I don't know how much that one is offhand. The reality is we have a lot of different products. I always tell people we need to talk, first understand what your requirements are, what you have, what you're trying to do with it, and then let me help you find the right product. Because again, that's kind of part of our service. I don't want to just sell you a light bulb. I'm not a light bulb salesman. I provide solutions for you.
And
So
that's what I want to hear. I have a
Solutions.
client here in Wichita, and the other day I stopped in to see him, and I said, "Holy moly, I'm counting 5 of these light bulbs that you have out." And I mean it's a huge building, right? And just to get up there, but they're fancy and everything, and he was like, "God, man, 5 of them suckers," and it was gonna be a lot of money, just to replace 5 of them, and then there's probably at least 40 of them in there, and I know for a fact that he has not gone with this technology technology, okay? Because these are the same bulbs that he was been working with now for probably, I want to say 8 years or so.
He's probably looking
you
at a
know.
mercury vapor or something along that
Yeah.
line.
Yeah, so
which
I think
takes
that
a lot of energy to push.
Exactly. So I think that he would be another one of those, that would be like, I need your help. And that's what I think is really cool, is that you can go to a person's home and or place of business. What do you charge to come out? Walk me through what would happen if I were to call you.
Yeah, let's see
and
this
say, I want to
experience.
save some money. Walk me through it quickly.
It depends on the size of the facility. I mean, obviously, if you need me to walk through a multi-story facility, it's going to take some of my time. So there probably would be a charge for that. The initial consultation, for me to just come out and have a conversation with you, there's no charge for that. I can come out, we can talk through it, understand what you need to do, and then we can go from there to see exactly what we want to do. We may get into a situation where you need to kind of design a solution. I'll give you an example right now. We're working with a church who has a very large sanctuary, and they have old, outdated lighting. So we wanted to help them provide new lighting. It needs to be more energy efficient, but they need better lighting also. It needs to be brighter, because if you're sitting in a pew and you're trying to read your hymnal or whatever it is, you can't see it.
Right.
So we wanted to increase their light levels, but we also wanted to provide a nice experience for everybody that's in the church.
Right.
So we actually said, rather than replace them one for one, instead of unscrewing something and screwing something else in, we said, get rid of everything. Let's take the whole thing out and let's use this solution instead.
Right.
Now, again, because there's some design time involved in that, there's a cost to that.
Right.
But because we're using professional engineers and that sort of thing. But the reality is, like I said, when it's all said and done, they'll end up with a much better solution. It'll save energy in the process. It'll be a guaranteed solution to last for a certain amount of time. And when it's all said and done, it will be a really, really nice facility.
Wow. All right. Tell us, if you could real quick, Travis, how can we find you here?
Okay, so I'm local, first of all, so you can call us at the office. My number is 316-260-LEDS. LEDs.
Yeah.
The best bet, though, is to get on our website, which is ledsourcewichita.com. We also have a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/ledsourcewichita. So that's probably your best bet. Get on there and shoot us an email. Give us a call locally. I'll give you my contact information so you can give us a call.
Right
So
on.
the thing to keep in
Facebook
mind
page.
is, we have products for probably almost any kind of solution you can think of. We only talked about a few on the table, but even like those tubes, you
Tanning
can
beds.
you can smack that sucker on the table and I can still plug it into the light. It won't
That's
explode.
a direct replacement for an F-32
You can smack it and it won't break.
I don't even want
I
to.
can
Okay.
break that.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, whoa.
Joey, there's mercury
Joey.
in it.
Lots
No,
of
there's
no,
not.
no, that was right.
It's an LED. There is no
mercury.
No,
mercury.
no
That's right.
mercury
I don't
in
understand the
these.
technology.
That was close.
I got it.
That was
It's a good thing. Well, we got a very
Shower,
technical
hot tub.
show today, right?
Wow,
And
yeah.
I just want to go back to my rant, originally speaking. Yes, I do know that there is a CPA that works for the city of Wichita. I'm just saying I would like a new one. Okay, are we done now, kids? Boop, boom.
I don't know.
I want a tanning.
rock
I want
the
one of
vote.
those tanning bed
I
things
think-
in my shower. Have you seen that where you can tan while taking a shower?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll be
I
a
think
business
that's
of the
up your
week to
alley.
come. That's a
Rock the
business of the
Vote
week to come.
ICT. Be sure to catch
Yep,
it Saturday
Rock the
at
Vote
Adams Park.
ICT.
That's right.
Okay, you got
Rock
it.
the Vote.
Thanks for coming.
LED Solutions, thank you.
Thank you.
LED source.
Source.
Check us out
Well,
next
he's
week.
got solutions, though, so perfect. All right, real people, real life. Love ya.
The views expressed in the preceding program do not necessarily represent the views of this station or its management.
At Economy Motors, we know that everything costs more these days. Gas costs more, utilities cost more, groceries cost more. But what's one thing that will not cost you more? Buying your next vehicle with us. Everything we have is priced $12,995 or under. Bad credit, no worries. No crazy gimmicks and no bait and switch. We keep it real. Economy Motors, home of easy pay. We've got your back.
Don't worry, please, don't worry, 'cause at Economy Motors, we got your back. Hammond Liquor, home of the coldest beer in town and the lowest prices store-wide. For all your special events, your friends at Hammond Liquor have what you need, from beer, wines, spirits, champagne, and more. Open till 8 p.m. every Sunday. Hammond Liquor, West Kellogg and Tyler Road.
At Trailer Town, we're all about selection, service, and safety. Trailer Town Selection, hundreds to choose from, small to large, lightweight aluminum to heavy-duty steel, all types, new and used. Trailer Town Service, the best in the Midwest, from wiring to axle repair. Trailer Town Safety, yes, we do Department of Transportation inspections. Trailer Town, trusted, family-owned, 301 West 53rd Street.
Credit King Auto Sales is getting better all the time. We're doing it better. We're doing it better all the time.
Credit King Auto Sales, the king of buy here, pay here. Bad credit, no problem. The King specializes in getting you in the ride you want no matter the credit score. Credit King doing it better all the time with the largest selection to choose from in all price ranges at one location. The King's Corner, 31st Street South and Broadway, Kansas' biggest buy here, pay here. GoCreditKing.com.